Well, hello, divine twin flames, here to create our heaven on earth. How are you guys today? This is the Twin Flame Channel, and I am the Twin Flame Channel. I am an intuitive success strategist, business coach. I do readings, mediumship, and you can look at the box below for all of the information. I have made some different offerings so that any budget, all right, can get a reading with me. And right now, guys, what I want to do is for $20, all right, for $20, I can tap in and see if your twin is your actual twin flame. Now, make sure you are ready for this information because I can't sugarcoat it. My pendulum, I work with a pendulum a lot. If you're new to the channel, here's my little pendulum. It usually goes yes and no the other way. And I've been working with it forever. And my clients and I, we love it, because you can ask things like, should I follow this purpose? Or should I quit my job on this date? Or however specific you want. And your guides are going to work with my guides, or they actually could be the ones fully moving the pendulum. Now, I do protect things, and it's all in the light, but the pendulum really does help navigate if you've got a lot of yes/no questions to help navigate your life. But I'm also doing $20 texts. Like if you want to text your twin and you're just like, oh, how does this sound? Like, you can't figure it out and you just want to make sure you're good to go before you take action. I can help you with that as well, crafting it. But, if you want to get on your purpose or look into your twin situation, just email me at twinflamechanneling@gmail.com. Again, twinflamechanneling@gmail.com. And if you guys just want to know really who I am and follow me online and stuff like that, I created this channel to be sort of hidden and anonymous so that I could, because I do have a lot of business clients that think that all this is woo-woo. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's a little issue I have, but I'm holding back a little bit. And but you're welcome to email me at twinflamechanneling, 2 N's, 1 L, @gmail.com and ask me like, hey, this is what I want to do. Here's what I can pay, and let's see if I can work with your budget. Again, a bunch of different offerings are down there. I honestly think that the best readings are going to be where you send me questions, and I do pendulum readings and cards, but I'm able to talk to you on the phone so that we can go back and forth, and then maybe new information that I'm not getting right away you can bring up. Psychics in general don't know everything. Typically, when I meet with any client, whether it's business or personal, the right information channels through me. I've made people a ton of money telling them the right partnership, to advance their business, or the right, what have you. So anyway, enough about me. So I made the reading a lot shorter today because I want to work with 3 different decks. We've got the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. We've also got the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I really enjoy that. And this one is so much fun. The Affirmators, right? Like, it's so fun and funny. So let's have some fun with this. And I've shortened it a little bit, but we've got all the important information for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. So stick around. I know some of you just like to find out where the masculine's at, but look at where you're at too and what you need to do, because that information is here to get you where you need to be for union, right? So the messages are coming to you because, sitting back and just waiting for a masculine is not what the divine wants us to do as divine feminines, right? Again, divine feminine, masculine, you can mix it up. I mean, it doesn't matter the gender. Sometimes I say he and she, but if you're like a same-sex couple, just kind of be aware of what I'm talking about. And the divine masculine and feminine is in every single one of us. So you might relate to both. Now, what I ask for the divine to bring through messages for everybody who is led to watch this at any time. So you could find this video a year later and it'd be the perfect timing. I absolutely do believe that the divine and our guides, we all have guides, that they lead us to what we need to see and the messages we need to hear. So they're completely aware of what's going to come through in this reading, okay? And once it does, they're really aware. And so they know when to bring this reading to you. And if you've stumbled upon this, maybe you don't know me yet or my channel, doesn't matter. Listen for your message. Okay. So for the divine masculine, let's start with the divine masculine. Okay. So the first question is, where is the divine masculine right now? You know, where is he right now in relation to his life and kind of in relationship to this relationship and this connection? We're not asking how he's relating to her yet, but we are asking, where is he in regards to this relationship? So I did pull these cards ahead of time. I absolutely just pull and I go with what God gives me, because these are the messages. So I just certainly don't have time for this, but this is amazing, right? So yes, this is your soulmate. So I truly believe that everybody watching this right now, the person you're thinking about is a soulmate. Now, majority of you, it's going to be a twin, all right? But remember, there's also other soulmates. So, you know, we have other soulmates and soul ties in this life from past lives and etc. that come into our life in order to catalyze certain things. So to me, like, this could be where he's at, where, you know, he might not know of twin flame just yet. Some of them do. Some of them definitely do. But he definitely feels like, he doesn't know that terminology, but he says this is like his soulmate. I get a vision of him going to the family members too and being like, I think she could be my soulmate. Or friends or whatever. Like, I think they could be my soulmate. So the fact that they're thinking in that way is huge, right? Because normally they were for so long kind of far away from this type of information. You know, from sensing that strong of a bond. Like, they knew something was here, like some unfinished business, but they, you know, I think it's a big deal for them to recognize, wow, actually, like, she's probably the one, and I've been, you know, not nurturing this relationship. I've been distracting myself. I've been working too hard. For each divine masculine, it's different, and you can get an individual reading. Also, so you guys know, I do offer some free giveaways, for those who like, comment, and subscribe. You've got to be subscribed and comment. And then I'm going to be doing a reading every week at least. Try to keep up with that for now. And so if I've got over 5 comments for that week, see, I just started a little while ago. So I, with these readings on YouTube. So I've been doing this since 07, 06, 7. But anyway, so if you want a free reading, if you want to do it to enter the giveaway, make sure you comment. And if there's less than 5 comments, I'm going to wait till the next week and just add those together and pick somebody. But, you know, if there's only one person commenting, it's the same person all the time, I'd like to give other people opportunities to win. All right, so breathe. Where he's at right now is just breathe. Relax. Go with the flow of divine timing, right? Not, you know, you guys have heard of like biorhythms, right? And just, you know, with the moon, I mean, did anybody feel extremely tired last weekend? We had a new moon eclipse over the summer solstice, right? And it, to me, I was like exhausted. I was super drained. I also found that like a lot of women were like having their menstrual cycles come on at an odd time, which was that with that full moon. But we could be in a cycle of where that full moon, that new moon has really just brought us back within, and it's not as much of an active phase as it is a reflective phase. And so I feel like this is just, okay, Let's rest and recoup before we make a move forward. All right. So this is really going with the flow of the universe and the divine timing and just handling the things we need to handle and making sure we're resting and recharging our batteries because it's about to get super intense. I also feel like either you guys did something or they did, or there was some contact or some sort of activity where they were feeling extra anxious. So that's good that they're actually taking time out to breathe. Ooh, okay, options. So what I'm getting with this card, as I open to the abundant possibilities of my life's path, I'm reminded that I always have unlimited options. Life is a buffet, and I allow myself to choose whatever makes me happiest without limiting thoughts like, you can't put mac and cheese on your baked potato, you silly Willie. No, you certainly can. You can do what you want. But is this more about his options with girls? Like, I don't get the feeling with, because he knows you're the soulmate. So I don't think that this is about lots of options with other ladies. I think he's past that stage and he's more really, really focused on you. That's what I'm seeing. Like, he's focused on you, but he's thinking that there's plenty of options. So maybe you guys live in a different spot and he's like, okay, well, I can drive there, or I can fly there, or I can bring her here, or I can, I can invite her to this wedding, or I can, just call and say, hey, I want to get to know you better, I'm going to be in town, or, I think he's thinking about what his main options are for, should he come to you and say, hey, I really want to build a business with you, or should he come to you and say, hey, I'm really interested in dating you, potentially business too, but should he lead with like business or pleasure? I think that's like an option. Or should he say, hey, let's go away together? Everything's, I feel like some of them know they've got to make a gallant approach. Like, they can't just be like, hey, what's up? It's how you been doing over this COVID thing. They can't do that. They need to like show up on a white horse. Like, they need to be like, hey, I really want to travel. I know we can't go, to Hawaii right now. Well, they have a 14-day quarantine, I believe, for the people coming in. But we can go to Mexico, or, we can go to Palm Springs. Can you meet me in Palm Springs? I think he's thinking about ways to make this meeting, this union, a reality. Okay? So these are the options he's thinking about right now in relationship to you. Good things to come. There are so many amazing gifts coming my way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under the wrapping paper. But they will show up when the time is just right. What I say, he's thinking divine timing. And that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. So it's weird because I feel like he's going in and out of like wanting to take control and knowing he needs to do something, but then he kind of falls back into, well, there is divine timing, and like I know I'm going to be surprised, and so he's looking at the news every day and what's really going on, and he's trusting that amazing gifts are coming his way when it comes to you, but kind of looking at his options where, should I take the lead? Should I let her lead? Should I, so he's still in that contemplation mode. And honestly, like, I'm going to say a prayer real quick. Divine masculines, please get out of your head and get into your heart, okay? Make a move. I also get a feeling, though, that they are sort of waiting for, like, a sign from spirit that, like, now's the time. Now, So, but they are very aware, so that's good. And they know that there's gifts and surprises here, so that's cool. Okay, so second thing I ask is, how is the masculine relating in regards to the feminine? So how is he relating to the feminine or interacting with the feminine right now? Ooh. Oh my goodness, you guys. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. He really, really is thinking about this getting away card. Having a honeymoon with you. Like, he's envisioning just being in bed and like doing all those things to you and just having time alone with you, quality time to catch up on everything, time to like finally focus on like all the potential that you guys have together, time to wine you and dine you and take you on the boat in Venice. It may not be a trip to Venice, but I really do think that he's just craving travel with you and sort of like a honeymoon phase, because while you guys might have met and hooked up or dated for a while and had maybe a little bit of a honeymoon phase, he knows he has to bring back that magic and that like passion and love. Otherwise, you're not going to be that interested. You're going to be like, oh, I waited all this time to reunite with this. All right. So he knows he's got to like lay it on thick and really treat you right for you to want to be with him forever. So that's beautiful. I like that he's thinking that. Up, tick tock goes the clock. Yo, yo. This card to me always means tick tock. Like they're thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to make a move. I've got to make a move. But when you look at it in the book, it actually means more like divine timing. Let me ask which way they want to read it. Okay, here's the pendulum. Okay, are we talking about divine timing? He's feeling the pressure. Yeah, that's what I got initially. Like I should trust myself more because I'm so intuitive. So I get the feeling of them. So when I pulled this card, I remember pulling it. I got this like urgent feeling. So I think he's going, oh my gosh, it's already June. It's almost July. July 4th is around the corner. I'd like to spend the 4th with her. What is she doing? What am I doing? Like, he's like, this has got to happen. Like, I don't really want to wait till December, you know? Like, maybe you guys have birthdays coming up or something. So he's feeling like the urge because he wants to express his love and express, like, what he wants with you. You know, he also might want to ask you, like, do you want to have kids? Do you want to get married? Like, he wants to have that communication because nobody's moving forward without better communication. Okay? None of us are. So the divine masculines are very aware that they need better communication, and they need to do it soon because, honey, you're a catch, and he knows that. And he knows that you've got other people hitting you up and other guys around you. I think he's looking at your social and stuff. So he sees, some of these other people talking to you, and he's like, oh my gosh, this girl has not heard from me in a while, and she's gonna make a move somewhere else if I don't get it to frick together, but he's still trying to stay balanced in that, just breathing and like taking it one step at a time, because I feel like a little bit of burnout energy. So it's like he's trying to like rest and recoup so that he can make a move and take action because the clock is ticking. And he knows also it could be that you guys are at that age where like you do need to get pregnant, you know what I mean? So I know with myself, I'm in my early 40s, but and guys, you can totally get pregnant at 45. Like, don't believe what the mass media tells you, like, oh, you got to be 35, but no. But there are less eggs, yes, but, there's tons more. There's a huge uptick in pregnancies between 40 and 44. So hopefully me sharing that with some of you who are like 38, 36, like, it just relaxes you a little bit because, guess what, guys? If you can put blocks into this union, if you think like if you're stressing and worrying about your age when it comes to pregnancy, and you're not trusting God is the head honcho. Okay, God can make you pregnant at 48 if he wants to. Okay, so put your trust and faith in God and in your divine masculine or your divine feminine, and things materializing the way they need to, as long as you're taking action when you're led to. So if you get that sign, don't be like, oh my God, was that really a sign? Like, I don't know if it's a sign. Okay, God, give me another sign. God gives you another sign. You're like, well, I don't know if I should trust that. Just freaking act when you get a sign, okay? If it's a big sign, if it's an obvious one, it's not rocket science, guys, I mean, I've had signs before where I'm like, oh, well, he and I were on the same page that day because, yeah, that guy in the commercial that talks about addiction is definitely not the guy you want to call about addictions. Like, who wants to call that guy? And I was like thinking it, and he tweeted it. It's like, okay, well, that's sort of relatable, and we both like relatable stuff, so maybe that's not really a sign. I would like talk myself out of it, and then I would get like a whopper of, something that was just so clear. And yeah, so if you get the signs, that's probably telling you to act. One thing you can do is say, okay, guides, if I'm supposed to take action, and send him a text, or make it specific, right? If I'm supposed to call him on the phone, give me a sign that has to do with an animal. Like, you can even ask specifically, show me an elephant in the next week or so. And then probably like day 3, you see this amazing elephant online, and you're just drawn in, and then you remember that you asked for that. It's like, oh, okay. I should do a workshop on signs and synchronicities and how to work with that. But okay, so TikTok goes the clock. Oh, so how he's relating with you, he's actually manifesting you. He wants you that bad that I get a picture of him squinting his eyes and like rubbing his temples, like he's trying to like use his brain power, like, which is funny because it's really the heart power. He needs to drop into his heart. Divine masculines, if you're listening, bring that energy down to your heart and push your heart energy out, okay? And to manifest and just send love to your divine feminine, and she will feel it. But he's trying to manifest. If you could have anything you wanted, what would it be? Get specific. That's a secret of manifestation. And get greedy. You're holding a magic wand and you can conjure up anything. Could it be that when you declare your wishes out loud, you are actually casting a spell for your dreams to come true? Ding, ding, ding. Or is it just that, in a very practical sense, the more people you speak with about your desires, the more folks there are who know what you want and might have the means to help you make them happen. Either way, stop waiting and start manifesting. So I do get that he's been telling more people about you, friends, family members. Some of the masculines are kind of still keeping it to themselves as they try to figure things out. But it's like he's trying to manifest you into his reality by thinking of a future with you, by dreaming of a house with you, with a pool and the kids, and you're in this flowy dress, and maybe you're pregnant, and there's a garden and open air, and there's an ocean view or a lake view or a boat, or he's thinking of where you guys are going to be living, what you're going to be doing. Like, you guys have the potential to work in spirituality, or work in television, or work in communication fields, marketing, or sales. I mean, you guys have the potential to be doing brand deals and doing podcasts and t-shirt companies and fashion, So he's thinking about all of these different aspects of like how you guys can build together. And he's thinking that if he's thinking about him and visualizing that it's just that God's just going to bring it together, But I still get that urgency, TikTok feeling, like he knows he's got to do something about it, right? Okay, so that was, where's the divine masculine and what is he thinking in regards to the feminine? The next is, what is his next action? Okay, so what is his next action? Oh my God, I love it. That's exactly what needs to happen. Am I wrong? Don't comment if you think I'm wrong, but comment if I'm right. Comment now. Let's use the tricks of manifestation. Comment in the comments. Say, we manifest the divine masculine, or just say the divine masculine expresses his love now. The divine masculine expresses his love now, because we need them to express their love and not wait to do it. You've had plenty of time to wait. You've had plenty of time to think about what you're going to say. Divine masculines, if you're watching, it's not what you say as much as it's how you say it and being honest. The divine feminine, and this goes for both of you, both counterparts want authenticity. Don't try to play games. Don't try to wear a mask. You've got to take that mask off, and you've got to express the fact, your love. Now, you don't have to say, I love you so much right away. You can just say, I have feelings for you. I recognize these are feelings, and I want to explore these feelings. I think we could build things together. I think we have a special spiritual bond. I think, we have a past life together, and I want to explore a relationship with you in this life. I want to explore friendship plus business plus romance, all of it. Like, be clear in what you want. Because if you beat around the bush, it causes all this confusion. And what is confusion, right? Confusion, even in the Bible, it talks about confusion being from the devil. Now, some people say if it's not like a hell yes or a hell no and there's confusion, it's the devil, because what's right, there's no confusion. And that statement is incorrect. Okay? You know why it's incorrect? Because twin flames are meant to be, and if there was no brain involved, we'd be like, yeah, let's move forward. But a lot of times the brain interjects, and the brain, the ego, the mind causes the confusion. So we start overthinking, and we think about all the negative scenarios. We think about the fact that, like, the best friend who's not that sharp thinks, she's a little too spiritual, or, thinks they're into conspiracies, or think, like the mom doesn't like the fact that she's like spiritual and not religious because they're religious, or, whatever it is, they start thinking about all these obstacles, which really are not obstacles when it comes down to it, because those other people in their lives, they actually want you to be happy. And if they gave the person a chance because they like my divine masculine, like if his friends and family give me a chance, they would probably love me, right? And they would think that, like, my spirituality is actually pretty cool, and they would see that I'm a God-loving woman. And, I grew up Christian, but I, have this broader, bigger vision of what a connection with divine spirit is. I don't apply the organized religion rules necessarily, but that doesn't mean that I'm the devil, So anyway, and this is just a little example to try to explain it. What I'm saying is they need to express their love from their heart and not let their mind get in the way. The divine masculines, I really do believe, have let the mind get in the way, and it's caused confusion. And what happens when there's confusion? It doesn't feel good. It feels like a burden. So he might have been associating you with a burden at one point until he's realized, oh, I'm overthinking this. I'm creating the burden, not her. I'm creating my burden. I'm the one who didn't get back in touch after I said I would. I'm the one who, flaked out or ghosted. I'm the one who promised her the world and then disappeared. So this is really important, guys. But what confusion does is not only do you feel burdened, it feels dark, it feels heavy. So when people feel that, they typically fight or flight, right? They want to fight with you, or they want to flee this whole situation instead of just coming forward, taking off the mask, and expressing the truth. But now their next action is going to be expressing their love, expressing their truth. They now know that that's what they have to do, which is so phenomenal. He's also, I love this card. It's beautiful. He's also trusting in that higher power, tapping into the higher power. Their next action, they're trying to get guidance from the divine. They're asking. I see some of them down on their knees praying, or on the edge of their bed. Some of them are praying. Some of them are asking for information in their dreams. They're asking for signs, saying, show me a sign if I'm supposed to get to her. If I'm supposed to get to her now. Okay? So they are waiting. Oh, I think I just said this earlier. It makes sense. They are waiting for a sign from the higher realms to say, now's the time, go. All green lights ahead, Like, there has been some fears in them that they'll say the wrong thing, or that it won't be strong enough, and you'll be like, the divine feminines will be like, you know what, like, too little too late, or, dude, I'm already scheduled to go on a trip with another dude because I didn't hear from you when I told you I needed to hear from you. So, like, they're thinking about all of these negatives, right, that aren't even real. It's like, just pick up the phone and call. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, what's up? Sorry, it's been a long time. Let's talk. I want to talk. So I do feel like that's coming, and let's just ask the Divine Spirit. Spirit, please bring the Divine Masculine such a strong sign when, as soon as you feel like the Divine Feminine's ready. Now we got to get ourselves ready, ladies. If you're feeling tired and exhausted, you haven't gotten that thing done, or your house is a wreck, or you're slipping on things, don't expect him to come around when you're slipping. You got to have your stuff together, girl. I mean, you got to clean that closet. Like, make a list of priorities for your life to get in order so that God can go, okay, now, boom, sign for the Divine Masculine, and it's all in the flow, yo. It's all happening. Okay, so the other thing, as far as his next action, he wants to focus on, I think when he comes to express his love, he's going to say, look, I think there's a lot of potential between us. And I hate the fact that I didn't see it right away. Like, all I was looking at is like outside things and my job. And, I wasn't really ready for a relationship. But, now that I think of it, like with who you are and all of your skills and talents and everything I'm seeing online and like all your resources, I think that you and I have this huge potential together. The huge potential to bring rainbows, to create music, to create books, whatever. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth. Who's that? Oh, that's you, girl. And accomplishment. People that support my growth and accomplishment. He knows that you've always been supportive of his accomplishments. He loves that about you. Tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I have ever tuned into anything else? I'm looking at you. Smooth jazz and talk radio. That reminds me like of the podcast. Like, I'm going to start a podcast, but like, what if he's wanting to start a podcast with you, create music with you? But he's basically saying, you're the one that I feel can get me to that higher frequency where like abundance just flows in and out of my life. And like, we literally live the ultimate potential. Because right now, I feel like they've been feeling like, oh my God, like they have been hit left and right. I'm seeing a guy getting pummeled in the boxing ring. Left, right, center. Like, they've been hit a lot, and they've been sort of like nursing their wounds. So I don't know if that was from the karmic. You guys know. Some of you, yes. Family members, job situations. But guess what? When he walked out on you, the Divine Feminine with her crown and all, he didn't see the crown, and he walked away like this was nothing. That's when God said, oh no, I'm gonna make you feel this pain. You freaking crazy. So guess what, Divine Masculines? If the sooner you get to your Divine Feminine, you got to be ready. Okay, don't jump the gun if you're not ready. And Divine Feminines, don't expect them to jump the gun and get to you if they're not ready. You don't want that. You don't want him coming back if he's not ready. But Divine Masculines, you are ready. All right? And if you want your life to start looking up, you need to align with the person who's supposed to be the Eve to your Adam. You need to align with the person who aligns you to your potential, okay? Because as soon as you do that, that's when, suddenly your agent calls with a job. Suddenly, you got this opportunity and this new job opportunity. And, here's like $5,000 extra dollars in the bank. Boom. Like, you're going to have so many amazing opportunities come through. That's cool. Okay. So now this is the advice. This is the advice the Divine Masculine is getting from God or from his dreams or from other people. Okay. So what he's seeing is this could be the one. Just like I said, soulmate. So for a while he wanted to, I'm really getting this. Let me say it the right way. There was a second there with, I think, most of these masculines where they turned away and they wanted to find negative things in you or reasons why it wouldn't work. So she's too spiritual, or she doesn't really have all the money and stuff. Like, I want to align with somebody with money, or she isn't my type, or whatever it is, right? So the they would create these circumstances in their brains to help justify how they treated you, and the way they treated you was wrong. But deep down, they knew it was because they really cared about you, and they should have walked towards you. They should have stuck with you and not went to see if the grass was greener on the other side, or not jumped into that relationship with that cute girl who was toxic AF, that cute girl who like ruined their life, right? And hung on to them for dear life because she was materialistic or whatever. So, or had that baby. Like, maybe some of y'all have karmics that are baby mamas and trapped their man, and so your dude wanted to be your masculine wanted to be a good guy, and he basically moved to them, or moved in with them, and left you thinking that was the right thing to do. But he didn't realize the right thing to do is the heart thing to do. It's to align where your heart is. Your heart is your compass. Your heart directs you, okay, to what is highest aligned for you and your divine destiny. Your heart, not your mind, guys. Not your mind. So all these logical, rational thinkers, I mean, I'm one of them, but the ones who don't listen to their heart at all, their lives are probably not that great, okay? Because they're not aligning with what's highest. They're actually using another metric system we learned in society that doesn't really relate to what's highest for you, okay? So listen to your heart, follow your heart. I really do feel that most of my big mistakes in life were not following my heart enough. Were, doing more business coaching when really I'm like a soul biz coach, I mean, it's a long story, but like, I help people with purpose and destiny, and I know strategy and business, I'm intuitive, so I flow, but I've put so many like business clients above like this TV show I want to sell, and like all the things that my heart goes, yes, go, 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 because I wanted stability, right? There's so many things I could tell you, but like, it's like when you get to LA and entertainment, you're like, oh gosh, I should have gone and got a master's in like film and TV. You think, because it's a limited belief, right? Like, I thought for the longest time, because I wasn't in film and TV and didn't go to Juilliard, that maybe I wasn't qualified, when as soon as I got a job producing, I actually took that show from zero to hero, and then started making everybody all this money because of how I reformatted it, how I created the sponsor platform. So anyway, so what he's getting is, this could be the one. It could be also like his friends are saying, look, if you see the signs and synchronicities, like, this could be the one. Go explore it, right? You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So I do get the feeling that the masculines think, and they're getting from the universe, like, this is probably the one. Like, what's the point in me continuing to date all these people? Like, I keep trying that and it's not working. I've tried that, it's almost ruined my life. So since I know she could be the one, let me be fair and try to explore it. To be fair, right? This is the advice they're getting. You've got to be fair. There's no justice in walking away from her and turning your back on her. Number one, if you do that, she could be gone forever because you're a total punk, right? Number two, you're not able to explore, okay? Number three, you're going to have bad karma, because if she is the one and she's a good person, treating her like this, just because your pride is in the way and you don't want to apologize or like speak your truth, no. Like, go speak your truth, apologize, balance out the relationship, be fair to her, be wise. It's wise to be fair and to give her justice and say, look, I don't know where this is going to go, but I want a new beginning with you. How I've treated you is wrong. You don't deserve to be feeling like you're not worth anything because I wasn't ready. But it had nothing to do with you. It was all me, and I'm sorry if you felt abandon. But now I want to balance things. I want us to be friends or more. I want us to build things. I want it to be fair, and I want us to be equals. And so it is. Okay. Oh, and there, I'm getting that, like, there's friends. I see the friends saying, like, dude, like, stop overthinking it. Like, just make the action and make it fun. Like, if you make it so heavy, like, oh, and I shouldn't have, and it's like not that fun. It's not that interesting. I mean, she probably wants to hear an apology, but make it fun. Like, just be like, hey, so am I in the doghouse still, or like, can we talk? Like, I don't know. I'm not feeling very funny today. Speaking of funny, you guys, now you understand that laughter raises your energetic vibration instantaneously. You can't actually be in lower vibration, like depression and stuff, if you are laughing. So, I mean, you can go to Netflix, right? And you can look at like comedy routines if you want to laugh. But I'm going to tell you the funniest show. I thought I was going to die last Friday night because I was laughing so hard. I felt like my chest was going to like cave in, or my heart was going to explode. So there's a show on FX, but it's also on Hulu. It's called Dave, and it's about this little rapper called Lil Dicky. And he's kind of like satire at first, and just like his like rise to fame and how it works and stuff. But it's hysterical, guys. It's written so well. I'm a TV writer as well, and so it's written so well. I mean, I was really feeling like entertainment sucks, I'm just so sick of like all the same shows. It's like the same stuff, and drama's not really what we need right now. Like, we don't need to be watching Walking Dead. No offense if you love the show, but like we need light stuff, light and funny and wholesome and not negative. I mean, even sarcasm and like what I call the bro bully, when like bros bully each other and stuff, they think it's so funny. That energy is so last season, guys. It's so old paradigm. We're moving into an energy of like equality and love and like laughter when it comes to like wholesome laughter, not beating up on people, which was so much of the funny in the past. Anyway, okay. So his friends are saying, to enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Joy, 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 down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. It's like butter. I can put it on anything and it'll make it way better, right? I think he's starting to realize like he can actually bring magic and joy to these boring situations. If you sit there and you're like, oh my God, my friends suck. Like, they're so boring. Like, why are these my friends? Like, my life, it's like Groundhog Day. Wah, 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 wah. Then life is going to be like that. You know what I mean? You're looking at it negatively. But if you're like, hey guys, how's it going? Let me do a little dance here. Like, just make it fun. So he says, today I will add joy to everything. Really slather it on. Today I am the Orville Redenbacher of joy. And life's popcorn is about to get it. Oh, hey. That's good. I love that. I love that. So he wants to add the joy. He's getting messages that you're the one, that he needs to be fair and speak his truth and be in the joy and talk about potentials. And he's waiting on the higher divine to show him when. And he's trying to think about manifesting it. And he knows it's urgent. Okay. So because he knows it's urgent, I wouldn't push right now. Okay, babes? And then he knows you're the soulmate. So you need to just sit back and trust, I think, right now. Okay, so let's get into Divine Feminine. I might move a little bit faster since we're already at 44 minutes. I hope you're enjoying the reading. If you're enjoying it, guys, remember, equal energy exchange. If you give me a like and a comment and subscribe, I really would love you to hit that little bell so that you get notifications when I put out a new video, because God and my angels and your angels, they know if you're subscribed to me and you're waiting for messages from me, because then I'm gonna channel them, your specific messages. So please like, comment, show me some love. But that equal energy exchange is basically you are showing the universe that you appreciate the reading and you appreciate these messages and that you really want this reading to resonate resonant with your situation. Okay. Now, forgiving and learning. I love this. So, where is the divine feminine right now? She is finally forgiving him. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. My guess is that you're here because the past with your divine masculine, even if he's not a twin flame, but a soulmate or a karmic partner, whatever that past was not pleasant, okay? It hurt you. It confused you. With me, I was getting signs and synchronicities off the his A, and like I found twin flames. I'm like, oh my God, this is what it is. I knew and immediately that this is what it was. Now, some of you are led to the twin flame concept because you are twin flames, but you're still hung up on a karmic partner. So again, I can look into that. I'm going to tell you what my pendulum's telling you. I'd say 80 to 90% of the people I speak with, it is their twin, but there is like 10% where I'm just getting that it is a karmic partner, and I hate to deliver that information because I'd love to like just blow rainbows up your booty, but I got to tell you the truth, okay? Because I don't want you to be hung up on somebody that isn't the one, and then you're blocking the real one for coming in, okay? I really want all of you to live your highest potential lives and live out your destiny and to have the greatest love of all. And because you're here, majority of you, I'd say all of you, actually, I'm just getting corrected, like the angels are going, no, all of you are twin flames that are watching this right now. Again, I'm happy to check it, look below at my offerings, but when you've experienced so much pain in the past, it's natural to hold like a little grain of resentment and anger, even if you've let it go, even if you've done forgiveness exercises. Of course, you can do forgiveness exercises, write it down on a piece of paper, burn it, all kinds of stuff. Okay, I can send you stuff if you need it. Just email me, twinflamechanneling@gmail.com. Put me in your notes, okay? When you need something, anything, I'm a great support. I also have an expert mentor network. If you need marketing or digital marketing, an influencer program, whatever manifestation meditations, whatever it is, let me know what you need. Okay. I really want to help all of you that I'm communicating with, because the sooner that you guys rise and you evolve to your greatest potential and you come into union, the more the rest of us will. I know that we're all one and we're all connected in this collective. If you still see yourself as separate and you're competitive with people, you need to do a little bit more work, okay? Because what you give, you receive. Maybe not right away, but we're all connected, okay? So if you have the ability to help somebody great get a job, do it, because you will be rewarded later, all right? Anyway, forgiving and learning, though, is... what is that? What is that quote that I love? Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Buddha. Remember that? Right? I'm sure you've heard it. Holding on to anger, even just a little bit, and frustration of like what your twin's done, any of that past old energy, that old energy is so worn out, like it's so dirty. It needs to be kicked to the curb. Okay? It does. Because guess what? If you have a little bit of that anger, our twins are our mirrors. We are the same soul. They can feel it. They don't feel like coming to talk to you when you're mad at what they did. They know they did bad. They beat themselves up. You don't need to beat them up too. They will come closer to you and feel more comfortable and safe with you if you let it go. Okay? If you're in that joy, popcorn, fun energy and potentials and just, I'm not saying don't set a boundary or just gloss over it like you're the king and queen of the land of passive aggressiva. That came from Grey's Anatomy, by the way, but a long time ago. I will always remember that. But, passive aggressiveness doesn't help. I mean, it is good to address the elephant in the room, okay? Sometimes. But if you're attacking them or you're coming at it with an energy of, some of my clients have an energy, I love them to death, but It's like, oh, but you should have, and you know, other guys treat me well, and da da da. You hear my tone? It's not sexy, okay? No masculine is interested in hearing you bitch at them about how your other boyfriends are so much better. Think about it. If your masculine was like, oh, but like, you know, my ex did it way better than you. She would let me do this and that and the other, and you expect that, and you have all these expectations for me. It's like, okay, I'm not even interested in you anymore. Like, this is not fun. So remember that if you're holding on to any of that resentment, it is the poison in you. And not only are you toxifying your own system, and you're holding yourself from that higher vibration, because the resentment and guilt, all that stuff is lower energy. So you're pushing your energy down instead of raising it up. If you're not forgiving and saying, you know what? There's a divine plan and purpose to all this. Everything happens for a reason. Babe, I forgive you because everything happens for a reason. Maybe we weren't ready to come into contact just yet. Maybe we needed to grow on our own. Maybe we needed to have certain people come in and out of our lives to put us in a position to actually grow together, right? So she's in the place of finally forgiving and learning that, like, holding on to the resentment is not going to work. You need to learn that as you release and heal the past and forgive it and realize everything happens for a reason, you experience more love with your twin in this present moment. Yes, that's where we need to be, babes. Okay. Truth be told. Okay. So this is a card of speaking your truth, standing in your truth, knowing your truth. That owl is not wearing a mask. We've overcome the mask. We're over the mask, right? So if you've been holding yourself back and just acting like you're kind of a friend, but you haven't told him you're interested in more, or you're acting like you're not really interested or whatever, then it's time to come clean, okay? I feel like so many of you have already spoken your truth. I just spoke the truth to mine, so I knew it would take him a little while to come around, but I mean, after I did it, he did a video. He was so nervous. He was so cute, but I can tell it's affected him big time. But it was like a lot of information and it was intense. But like, I've spoken mine, so I know that I can't do much more because I've done that. But that was like my big hang up for a long time, is that I hadn't spoken my truth. So we were just in like no man's land. You know, both of us were like waiting for somebody to do something. So you can get a quick reading with me, an inexpensive reading, and I can look into, is it beneficial for you to send him a text or just call him, or to, you know, show him some love on his social media, okay? Remember this, guys. You can't really mess it up when he's your twin. You can't really mess it up. You don't want to come at him with a bunch of expectations or a bunch of whiny bullshit. Sorry. Excuse my language. But keep that in mind. But keep it fun, right? Or at least expressive of like how you feel without making so if you share that, like, you know, you walking away like really hurt me and it really threw me for a loop, follow up with, but I realize everything happens for a reason and I do forgive that. So whatever you haven't said and you know what it is, now's the time to say it, because your union could hinge on you speaking your truth. If the divine masculines don't feel safe to come forward because they think that you're going to tear them a new booty hole, or you're going to yell at them because they deserve it, they know it, right? Or you're going to give them a verbal whipping, or they feel like you're just holding on to resentment, they're just not going to come forward. So if you can speak your truth and let them know how you feel, that alone, I mean, like for me, I was talking about business forever because I was thinking maybe they were just kind of scared and non-committal with the romance stuff. But then I'm like, well, that's not really what I want, just that. So he might be thinking that if he comes to me about business, that I'll be like, no, we're definitely not dating. Like, you're a fucking tool. Excuse my language. You're a tool. And so, yeah, so it's like if they feel like they're going to get rejected, if they come to you, they're not going to come, right? So what can you do to express your truth and make them feel more comfortable coming forward, because you are going to forgive them, okay? That's where you're at right now, is needing to express your truth or doing so, or you just did it. Story of my life. Oh, I love this. Little snake handing the roses to the rat. That's funny though, because he's going to eat him. Uh-oh. Is that you? Is that how you look at your masculine? Where he could come with roses, but like you've got this fear that he's going to eat you up and spit you out? Think about that. If you have fear that he's going to hurt you again, that fear could be blocking you. See, with me, I've had so many signs and synchronicities. I know that once we get together, the magic of our energies together is going to be like, pow, 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 just like fireworks all over the place. I mean, it might not be visual or verbal, but I just feel like we're going to fit like gloves, you know, and we're not going to want to be around other people. We're going to want to like spend as much quality time with each other as possible. So I'm open. Are you open? Or do you think that, are you still scared that he's going to hurt you? Because if you're scared, that's blocking you right now. But the story of my life, as I tell myself the story of what's happening in my life, I choose to make it the kind of story where even the tough parts have sort of an inner beauty, right? Like even the past pain has made you stronger. Even the past separation has made you be stronger online with speaking your truth and being who you are and stepping into your power. Do you see that? Do you understand that? So everything that's happened has made you dig deeper into who you truly are. It's made you, I mean, I knew who I was. I had a self-discovery book a long time ago. Like I knew who I was. But then when this happened, I was like, oh my God, I've got deep fear wounds. He brings up some sort of fear that I don't understand. How come I can't be my confident self around him? How come, I mean, the past life connections was so intense that like I turned into blubber when it came to like when I'd call and leave a message or whatever. Like I realized that there was wounds in me that were so deep that I didn't even understand. So I took a step back. I moved to a lake house in South Carolina for a while. I kind of like stepped back from the entertainment business. And I was still helping people find capital and money for their deals and their startups. But I did step back so much to just go within and figure out what all this meant. Like I couldn't find my way out of a paper bag when it came to me and my masculine. So I'm sharing this with you because you guys probably feel the same way. And if you don't feel the same way, you're about to, or it's not your twin. Because the kind of ups and downs and like connection that you have when you don't want to have it, because if somebody's not treating you the way you expect to be treated based on what you know about relationships, you don't want it. Like you're like, what is this? But you can't get rid of each other. It's like you're tied at the hip, you're tied at the hearts. It is what it is. But you're choosing to see the beauty and the silver lining in the pain, which is beautiful. And I want you to keep doing that. So when you go, oh, but he didn't do this, and I wish he would have done that, I want you to say, well, he didn't get me a bunch of the gifts because I realized that because he has a son, he was putting his son over love because that's the good guy that he is. And so he wasn't fully invested in the relationship at the time because he couldn't be at the time. You see what I'm saying? You see how I phrase that? So instead of looking at the negative, rephrase the negative into a positive. All right? And that's going to pull you right on up out of that painful energy and into the forgiving and learning energy and being ready to speak your truth without any resentment. Okay, it's ultimately a happy story where every character, no matter how wicked, is doing their very best. And let me tell you, it'll be worth it when I earn that Pulitzer Prize for the best inner monologue, right? I'm actually going to turn my story into a book. And I had a vision of it turning into a movie at some point. And I do happen to know those resources. So If you've got similar, feel free to reach out with me. I'm always here to support people's dreams. Okay, so, yeah, so when I read that, like, no matter how wicked, I need you to realize that the karmics, guys, as much as you want to paint them as the devil and the demon, they're not always dark energy and demon energy. A lot of times they are attracted to them and all that, the soulmate stuff and the lessons. A lot of times they're a divine feminine too, or they are a twin. I know you don't want to hear it, but it is true. And their role in this whole thing, like how I need you to see the karmic is your divine masculine or your divine feminine would not have found and discovered the love with you and wanted to commit fully to you. They're not going to get to union, basically, without that experience with the karmic. So the karmic in my divine masculine's life, I believe, showed him what materialism was all about and what empty relationships were all about, and how, you know, pretty girl doesn't mean substance, you know. And it probably showed that, like, she wasn't that invested in him and his heart and who he, you know, his success. She was more invested in what she could get from him and how he could help her career. And so she might have been like, oh, I'll cook for you, or oh, I'll do this. But when it comes down to it, I think he saw through that, like, she wasn't doing what she said that she was going to be doing. Like, he wanted her to be everything I was, but she can't be me. She's not me, you know? But who she was exactly who she needed to be with him. Now, maybe she's with a new guy and she's totally different, but with him, he's much older than her, so he was probably thinking that he was getting this nice girl on his arm, hot girl on his arm. But she was probably thinking, oh, I got this sugar daddy I can get a lot of success from. So, you know, from my experience, I don't know a ton of young girls who like guys that are almost 15, 20 years their elder. It happens, you know. But I think majority of the time, like, these men, they lead with their money or their success, their fame, whatever, and then they wonder why they attract girls who are just interested in that. Because you led with that, dude, you know? Don't do that. Anyway, but the story, she's trying to make the story a positive one, okay? Now, how is she relating to the divine masculine? She's basically interacting or doing her thing on social media, like doing her thing, because she's basically showing, like, dude, I'm not worried. I know it's coming, and I know it's coming very soon. Clearly decide what you want so it comes to you now. She knows what she wants. She wants a reunion. Doesn't even matter what comes out of it. She knows that the reunion and figuring out the unfinished business is inevitable. It's inevitable, and God's going to do everything possible to keep bringing this background in that masculine's mind. I feel like mine is like, just can't get me off of his head, because it is time to connect now. Otherwise, I'm going to go a different direction. Well, I sound like a hypocrite. I'm like trusting, but yet, no, I mean, if he's silent for a couple more months after I just, like, put my heart out there like that, like, I mean, I might just be like, hey, bro, you want to come on a trip with me? Like, just explore something new, you know what I mean? Because, like, I'm not going to, like, just sit here waiting. Now, when it comes to you guys, now, every relationship's different. I'm not saying to definitely don't jump in bed with somebody unless there's serious feelings there, right? So don't, like, just go off into something else thinking I'm not waiting, because you could be creating energetic blockages that you don't want if you get in the sack with somebody. But anyway, so the divine feminine is trusting that it's coming very soon. But she's also still in the never-ending story, right? Like, she's still feeling like, when is this round and round gonna end? Because, like, it's like she reaches out and then he does a little something, but it's like the unfinished business, and that it just is never coming. So this is like the card that reminds me of my visual when I think about my situation. I feel like I've been sitting on a fence with the prongs up my arse, and I just want him to, like, give me his hand, help me down, you know, Just tell me one way or the other where I stand. And maybe one of you needs to say that to your twin. Like, hey, I just want to know where I stand. Do you think there's a potential for any future with us? Now, if he's a decent dude at all, and he thinks the answer is no, then he should tell you, no, I'm not interested in you like that, right? And then you can move on. But if he doesn't say anything, that keeps you in a space of, dude, so I told mine, I feel like I'm sitting on a fence. I want you to help me down or push me off. Just push me off the back. It may knock the wind out of me, but I'll be able to get up in a second and move on with my life, and it'll get me off the fence. That's all we're asking, But the reason why, like some people say, well, if he's not responding back, there's your answer. And that's true to a degree with some people, but this thing runs a lot deeper. So, like the reason why mine hasn't said no, and he said, yeah, I do want to have that meeting, and yeah, he is because he feels it and he wants it, but he's gotten sidetracked. And, I think when he had the other girl and he's trying to work things out with her and stuff like that, like he's a good guy. He's not going to sit down and even talk with me about business if he's interested in me too, and he's still trying to make it work with somebody else. But just realize that if they're not contacting you, that's not always the no. Remember the phrase, a delay is not always a denial. The quote is Michael Bernard Beckwith of Agape Churches out here in LA. Michael Beckwith, okay, he was also in The Secret. A delay is not a denial. Sorry guys, I'm pretty serious when it comes to like people sharing things and not quoting people. There's some things that are cliches, but there's other things where like that person said it. So if I say like that's my quote or it's my story, I would love the quote. Well, you don't even know my name, never mind. You could say like dash twin flame channel. But delay is not a denial. Michael Bernard Beckwith. So the way she's relating to him is like, yeah, this seems like it's never going to end. Like we're never going to get out of this stagnancy. But at the same time, I am trusting God that it's going to come very soon. And look, another forgiveness card. And I'm forgiving you. Congratulations. You're being given one of the most powerful superpowers there is. Forgiveness. If any of you girls are still thinking negatively of your masculine or of the past or how things have happened, or you're holding it against him, or you've got any inkling of resentment, you've got to let it go. You are killing yourself. You are hurting yourself. You're blocking yourself. You're your own cock block. Okay? He's not going to be interested if he feels that energy. Imagine that you have been bitten by a radioactive forgiver. The point is, you suddenly have the ability to forgive people for their flaws, their bad days, their unkind moments, and their mistakes. And the best thing about forgiveness is that you can apply it to yourself too. So if something rubs you the wrong way, practice it. Just be like, you know what? They're having a bad day or whatever. Like, somebody copies something you do online or whatever. Just maybe speak up and say something like, hey, I did that. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, no worries. Like, you're forgiven. Like, practice forgiveness and also speaking your truth and setting boundaries all at the same time. It's one of the most difficult things ever to do, right? Because you don't want to speak up. So everybody's like walking around with all this passive aggressiveness and then talking behind backs. Don't be the person who talks behind the back about whatever. Be the person who actually confronts them or sends them a little DM or whatever and says, hey, like, oh, that little bothered me a little bit, I'm sure there was a reason why they did what they did, and they don't know it bothers you, but you're forgiving. And I think that what's really exciting that I'm getting is that the masculine is like, like, I think she forgives me. Like, I think he's feeling like so much more love because he's finally feeling like you've really forgiven him and that you guys can have a new beginning. Because if you haven't forgiven him, there's no new beginning. So have fun wielding your new power. But remember, with great forgiveness comes great inner peace. And that is so true. So practice forgiveness in everything you do, every group of people. person, because it's always fantastic. And then when you get with your masculine and he does something a little messed up, I need you to practice speaking your truth and saying, hey, yeah, no, I thought we're going to build something. So when other people are coming to you at bars saying, hey, I want to build this with you, I want to do this show, I want to do that, or whatever, I really like you to say, hey, I've actually got somebody, a partner to build with. I appreciate it. But instead of acting like you're going to help that person and saying, oh yeah, maybe call me. No. Nip it in the bud right then and there, because then you're showing me respect. If you are entertaining those options, that's not showing me respect. And then he's like, oh, okay, I get that. And you're like, okay, great. So you see how that works? Adult stuff. We're adulting now. For real. Okay, so what is the divine feminine's next action? Okay, so passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So this tells me two things. Stay in the passion with your purpose and your work, and posting online and being a little influencer and just doing everything that you can do to be the best human and to spread the love and the light and the wellness and all of that. Today's Wednesday. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Maybe some of you share great healthy recipes, and others of you share wisdom tips, and others of you are just like, hey, keep it up, girl, you're motivational, whatever it is. Like, stay in your passion. Oh, a 11111. Hey, that was 1 hour 11 minutes 11 seconds. So stay in your passion, that magic. Okay, stay in your magic and your passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy, because that's attractive, right? Like, I sing and dance, but I haven't done any Instagram singing and dancing lately. I was thinking it would be really fun to get with like some of my dance friends and do like a routine, and then he could see me like as the badass dancer that I am, and he'll be like, oh my God, I'm so attracted, right? So not that I'm doing it for him, but I'm doing it for me, and to like just let my heart sing with joy. But I also feel like putting myself more out there shows the world who I am and makes me more comfortable with being myself in the bigger world, right? Because so many of us, we're still, and you guys, I know it's some of you, you're behind your mask, okay? You're behind your job label. You're behind like this veil of untruth, okay? So it's time to be yourself and to shake your tail feather and do what it is that makes you happy, that makes you sing with joy. But I also want you to focus on the passion with him too. Like, I want you to think about those passionate moments together. I want you to, when you have a drink and you think of him, to like just take a second to just like think hot, dirty thoughts and just like send him love. Okay, I haven't been doing that with mine. I just like did what I needed to do and I moved forward. But because I'm not in the energy with him, he might be feeling like, okay, she said all this, but I don't feel her. I don't feel her energy. So I don't feel like it's time, It's like there's got to be this like magical energy, this bond between you that pushes and pulls, even though we hate that so much, the push and pull. There's got to be a little attraction of that magnet. So stay focused on the passion, guys, and stay in your yin energy, your feminine energy. The feminine, you can Google what are feminine energies, like what is the divine feminine, right? So what the divine feminine is the receptivity. So your next action, okay, and this is for majority of you. Now, hold on, is it for all of you? Is it for all of you? See, that's the thing, is I'm getting, for a couple of you, you need to be in the yang energy and taking action, speaking your truth, right? Remember? Some of you need to speak your truth, okay? And it's going to help move things along. So even if you're just planting a seed, but majority of you need to take a step back and focus on receiving. Focus on, having your house ready for him to come to your door. Focus on what you're going to say when he calls you. Focus on how you're going to make him feel forgiven. What are you going to say when he calls you out of the blue? How are you going to receive him? And what I want you guys to think about is listening to him, because he's going to have a plan. He's going to have things to say, and I need you to hear him. Whatever you do, don't cut him off and start talking, okay? That's one of the reasons I did a voice recorded message for mine, to just share my thoughts from the past. even though I might have been bringing up so much past energy and it could make me seem like I was still in the victim space. I just felt like all of that was in my body because I hadn't had, it's been years of all this stuff happening and I hadn't expressed it. Even when we connected, he was supposed to call me back and he didn't, or maybe he did and I missed the call, whatever. I just felt like I needed to get all of it out so that when he shares with me, I can be focused on letting him share with me and being in my receptive energy instead of cutting him off and being back in the active energy. So if you're thinking about, should I invite him on a honeymoon? No. It is be in the yin, receptive, feminine energy right now, okay? The receptive energy. It's just like the, you know what I mean? Like this is enters the whole, right? So the feminine receives the masculine. Sorry to be so graphic, guys. All right. So that's pretty beautiful. Oh, okay. So her next action is also impermanence. So she is not rigid. She is flexible, very similar to the yin energy. She's flexible. She's like in the flow and she's flowing with the flow, okay? She's not, you know, fighting that wave. If that wave decides to take her out to sea, she's like, all right, I think the divine knows what's going on. There must be some hot captain gonna pick me up. I'm just kidding. Okay, life is always changing and I drift easily through those changes. And Lord knows we are going through so many changes right now. I mean, I can't even keep up. Like one day it's like, oh, things are looking good. Less in the hospitals, lower mortality. You know, the fatality mortality rate of COVID is actually a lot lower, but then we're seeing more cases. Well, there's more testing, but the percent positive is going up. So, you know, it's not gone yet, guys. So it's like the governor's like, hey, face mask everywhere. And I'm like wearing a face mask on a hike, like feeling ridiculous. I take it off when I'm not around a lot of people, but because I do believe in oxygen, and I know with face masks you can also believe oxygen. I don't want to get into the details, but yeah, it's like today Governor Newsom said we might have to go back to more restrictions and more lockdown if this doesn't get better. So it does make us feel like we're on a yo-yo, okay? And I've spent the past few months being on this yo-yo and like really being affected emotionally and spiritually by what I feel is just like psychological warfare. You know what I mean? I know psychology. I graduated top of class and I just, you know, did studies and published in papers on the after effects of natural disasters, psychological after effects, and PTSD is huge. Okay, so a lot of us are going to have PTSD after this, but my point is, as things are changing, try not to get caught up in it all. Yes, like support Black Lives Matter if you want to, support, you know, the things that are coming up because we are at such an important time in history, and all of you divine twin flames are on the transition team. You are the light workers. It's you we've been waiting for, guys. So use your voice at this important time in history, but don't be so rigid, like saying, oh, it's all a conspiracy. No, it's not all a conspiracy. Oh, you know, mainstream media is completely right and Dr. Fat, maybe not. You know, there's some questioning. There's a lot of gray area, okay? So try not to be too rigid with what's going on in the world, with how you feel about your masculine. I mean, the only rigidness you should have is that I love him and I'm going to be there for him the rest of my life. But as these tides change, I need you to ride the tides, okay? And you drift easily through those changes, good and bad. As I drift through the hard times, I can take comfort in knowing that I will leave them behind. The tough times are falling away, my loves. I can tell you, I see it. We are about to step into our new life. Like it's happening, okay? We are at the precipice right now. So hang in there a little bit longer. Keep your vibe up. Stay flexible. Go with the flow. Grow with the flow. As I drift away from good times, I can take comfort in knowing. I have a meme actually that says ride the tides, grow with the flow. I'm gonna post it, and if anybody wants it, email me, twinflamechanneling@gmail.com. I'll send it over to you. Okay, I can take comfort in knowing that more will come my way. Impermanence is an equal opportunity non-entity. So again, stay flexible. All right. Your next action is that you're in the receptive, you're focused on the passion of your purpose and your masculine, but you are also extremely flexible. So if he calls you and says, yeah, I know you mentioned going on a trip, but right now there's a pandemic. However, my little COVID pod said it's okay if you quarantine that you fly here or drive here. Could you do that? And then you're like, well, why don't you come to me? But what I say is whatever he says that he would like you to do it. Or just say, hey, could you meet me halfway? And if he's like, no, I really want you to come here. I'll pay for the ticket. Okay, great. So try to work it out, guys, because even if it's not the way you want it, like maybe you want to be whisked away to Bora Bora, but right now it might not happen this year, okay? But that doesn't mean we should delay for another year you guys coming into union, because it doesn't matter where you are, how it happens. As long as y'all's energies, your energetics are together, you're going to be high vibe, super creative, brainstorming like a mother fudger. Okay, so the last is, what is her advice? What is the divine feminine advice that she's receiving from the Lord, from God, from Source? You are lovable. You deserve love just like anybody else does. You deserve love, okay? And then I feel like all of these are Cupids, basically, and maybe she's shooting her divine masculine. Listen, Cupid's not going to miss your masculine, okay? It's coming. You deserve it, all right? If he messes it up, guess what? Brad Pitt is still available, all right? You're going to get him or something better. Maybe you should say, just like Guided by Angels says, she's such a sweetie. I really like her. She does stuff every day, too, if you want to check her out. But, little readings for the people who need them every day. And for me, I went through a stage where I was super low vibe about this and in my head. So when I listened to these, it instantly brought my energetics up, because they're spiritual folks. They usually have a good vibe. But just listening to majority of the cards are positive and give you like action steps. So all of that just puts you in that spiritual high vibe state where literally watching TV doesn't feel as high vibe as watching videos. Again, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. We're almost done here. So she's also getting advice on keep the knowing. You have a deep, deep knowing. You've had signs and synchronicities for years and years and years. This connection is deeper than anything and everything, okay? And you're destined to come together. Otherwise, God would have knocked off these signs a long time ago. And if your divine masculine has made the choice not to come to you and decided something else is going to be better, trust me, that's going to not work out very quickly, and he's going to be redirected back to you. And I need you to have that deep knowing that God has your back. The divine, the moon, the stars, the sun, the divine source has your back. This is so crazy too for me, guys, because my divine masculine had a bird just like this. What is that? Will somebody comment for me? Is that a hawk or an owl? Is that an owl? Well, this bird basically with this spotted chest, right, was on my divine masculine's balcony. He put it on his story, and he was kind of like one eye open, one eye closed, like he was sleeping. You know how like kids will like try to hold their eyes open and they're falling asleep and they're looking kind of like suspect. And it's so weird that this bird is like so close to him anyway, right? And then his eyes were doing this funny thing, and I just had a dream about him. So I said, you know what? I think that's a hawk. Pay attention to the higher vista and the higher realms in your dreams, because he's sleeping. And I sent that to him. And then I'm actually temporarily living with a friend of mine, and in her second bedroom here. And as I'm saving for a house, and I looked around. Okay, let me just real quick. I turned around, guys, in this house. All right. And I realized she's got this. This is literally the bird that was on his balcony. Same chest, same sleepy eyes. And I said, pay attention to your dreams. I hadn't seen this yet. And then above it, it says dreamer. Isn't that crazy, right? So that's what you call a sign. That's a sign. All right. So, all right, last outcome cards, guys. Outcome cards. Hang in with me. Oh, actually, sorry, guys. All right. So last one is authenticity. Now, this is really important. So when it says advice, I need you guys to listen to this. What was I telling you about the mask? Take off the mask. You need to be your authentic self. Your authentic self, he's already in love with. Like me, I'm all about truth, right? So I have looked into conspiracies and I know everything that's going on with everything. I also work with politicians and spies and all kinds of stuff. But I don't know everything, obviously, but I know a lot. If anybody's confused or wants to know my take on it, twinflamechanneling@gmail.com. But be authentic. So it's like I want to share more about truth and how I'm all about that. But he seems like he's drinking the Kool-Aid, you know what I mean? And not into that. So I hold that back. Well, it could be that online he's showing that because he works in TV and stuff too, and for some of these media companies. So he's trying to show that he's like on board drinking the Kool-Aid right now. But really deep down, he's probably a damn conspiracy theorist too. YouTube, we love you. We love YouTube. Please don't censor YouTube. Please just let people make the decisions for themselves. Okay? You guys also realize that not every video you watch is a conspiracy. Like I just saw something where it's like 322 COVID deaths with all these different cities, and somebody said, well, it must be like a hoax because 322 is skull and bones, and it's like that doesn't necessarily mean it. But you could put any three digits in and it's going to have all these different places with new cases because there's so many articles. So I can't stand it when people try to make something conspiracy or show somebody something that's false. It hurts the whole purpose. Like it makes people think that all conspiracies are false, and that's not true. Remember, there's gray areas. You can't broad stroke generalize, say yes, everything's true or everything's false or there's never any psyops or hoaxes. I mean, please YouTube, do not shadow ban me for all this talk. I'm just saying people need to keep watching YouTube videos and see what resonates with themselves. Don't believe everything you hear, see, or hear. What is that quote my dad always said? Believe only, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see with your own eyes. Okay? Because even things can be CGI'd and stuff. Okay? Anyway, this is another I could talk about this stuff forever. All right, so be authentic. Share yourself. Share the fact that you're into truth. Share the fact that you do energy healing. Share, whatever it is, okay, that's really you, not just a label or facade or something. Like me, I'm very powerful at energy healing. I can do it remote, but it's even better when I'm there with you. But I have been wiped out for like a whole weekend after doing that on people that are heavily depressed and stuff. Now they call me and they're like, oh my God, my friend saw me the next day and she said, oh my God, you've got your light back and you've changed my life. I have changed people's life with like one energy healing session, but for me, it's not like my main passion. Okay. Producing TV and great content is, and then it's making dreams come true and doing individual readings and like helping twins come into union. But be authentic with who you are, not who you truly are, not who you were taught to be or who you're thought to be. That's a quote from me too. Because you're taught to be one thing and your parents may want you to be another thing. And you might have friends that think you're a certain way. That's not really who you are. So be who you are and let people know who you are and let it show online too, because I believe that he is watching you like a hawk and he's wanting to make everything that you are align with everything that he is. Okay? So what is your true, authentic truth? You know what's funny? Like my one series has all these sketches and stuff, and I'm not really producing a lot of sketches. Like I'm doing more spiritual stuff online, and maybe that's my big block because he's like not that spiritual, but he is creative, So let's think about that a second. Like where are we being kind of a little bit inauthentic, or not necessarily inauthentic, because like me being spiritual isn't inauthentic. It's who I am. However, I'm not like creativity and expression and producing and writing and all that is kind of, I feel like my purpose even over some of the spiritual stuff. So if I'm not showing that part of me, that's getting lost, right, in the shuffle. So this is important. Maybe you guys need to take a pen to paper and do a column of how you're presenting to the world, and then do a column of who you really are, like what we're missing, what's not lining up, and reevaluate. Okay, authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. I am down with this. I am like over 40s now. I'm like, I call it the F at 40s. You just don't give a F what people think anymore. You're going to say it. You're going to do it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it. But at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive-aggressive note about it. So true. So true. Now, keep your wits about you. Be nice and kind. Don't be unkind. Don't be like so uncool. Who said that? If anybody can comment who said that, okay, you're going to get a free reading. First person who comments who said that. Don't be all like uncool. That'll be fun. It's my guilty pleasure show. Okay, so the outcomes for now, okay, for you guys to come into union is we're going to be trusting. Both of us are trusting that it's coming in. All right, you're going to ride those tides. The situation is calling for you to have faith because you got to have faith, the faith, the faith. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. I do get the feeling. Now, you can forgive your parents. Maybe even take a piece of paper. Where did your parents let you down? And then I want you to write that you forgive them for not paying enough attention to you, for abandoning you, for making you feel like you weren't worthy or you weren't pretty or whatever it is. Say, I forgive you because you were doing the best you could with what you had. They were doing the best they could at being parents. It's very difficult to be a conscious parent, and I know that I want to be one, but our parents didn't sign up for that probably, so they did the best they could with what the knowledge that they had, and the knowledge they had is probably parents that went through the Depression that never had enough to give away. So we have like a lot of lack energy that we need, that is blocks that we need to heal. So let's heal the lack energy, the victim consciousness. I realized that I saw love as a burden because I saw my mom cry a couple times in relationship to my dad. And I knew that I wanted to have enough money in my life and to be independent so I didn't have to rely on a man. Because I knew that I wasn't going to let any man make me cry. And so my concept of love had this like burden around it, instead of realizing that true love actually lifts you up. It doesn't burden you. Like even if there's minor burdens, it still lifts you up. Okay? All right. So heal those family issues. I do feel like also he has a few family issues to heal. So let's pray for our divine masculines. Please, Lord. Please, Lord, help our divine masculines. Like heal those family issues. Have those deep conversations with their father. I'm getting the father. He hasn't expressed how he really felt about the father not having enough time and love for him. He hasn't expressed to his mother certain things that bothered him because he feels like it would be disrespectful to do so. But what I need him to realize, and what we want him to realize, is that having these conversations doesn't mean that he's blaming his parents, but he's sharing how he felt and just getting it off his chest so that way he can start the healing process and they can start healing that bond by having awareness of it, okay? So hopefully with whatever goes down, I am seeing some of them having parents that are in the hospital or feeling ill. So maybe those situations will get this important healing out, because your divine masculine can't be the father that he's meant to be without healing that his own issue with his father. At least, we can't make it perfect a lot of times. A lot of times our parents are not going to change, but there's that little bit of forgiveness, a little bit of recognition. I shared a bunch of stuff with my parents, and then they kind of like my mom came back and said, no, I get how you felt, and da da da. So she was working on healing it. You know what I mean? And I think it's as good as it's gonna get, right? So whatever you guys need to do. Oh, outcome, happy. So stick with this, guys. Stay passionate about your love. Keep sending them love. There's a happy outcome. There's a very happy outcome. This is pure happiness. Look at her. She's so happy. Happy, joy, happy. Happiness is right around the corner. There's a hummingbird, new beginnings, creativity, in a lock and key. So I've always seen my divine masculine as like the key that opens my lock, or like the puzzle piece that I'm missing. And I think I'm the puzzle piece that he's missing. So hopefully, like when we come together, it's just like, boom, everything can just flourish now, Like I know it's the one hang up both of us have in our lives, And other people, like even friends of mine, probably think I'm crazy because they don't understand this deep, deep bond, and they don't understand how our past life and the fact that we literally were made for each other, But I know that I'm not hung up or obsessed, because I know that if he chooses to go a different direction, that's the conscious choice of his, and he's going to lose me, and God's going to have somebody just as good, if not better, who can do everything that he can do. He will finagle things, because I've been through so much pain, and I don't deserve to be left holding the bag, and neither do you. Okay? So this is going to come together, I feel, this year or next year, like boom, boom, like within the next 6 to 9 months, I'm feeling. Or you're gonna get a beautiful love with someone else. But your new life is here. I love this. Look, she's like waking up from the deep slumber of like the stagnancy. She's been just waiting for her life to begin, really. And guess what? It's coming, and it's going to come hard and fast. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be like, okay, oh, yeah, so you are, sorry I treated that way. Now, just to be curious, do you want to get married? Do you want to have a family? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's go to a hotel now. Let's go. Let's move in. Let's get a place together. How about let's be roommates and just go for it. Just bite the bullet, So I do think that everything's going to move very, very quickly as soon as you guys come back in a union, because it's not like you're dating for the first time, right? Like, get real. You're not dating for the first time. Like, you know each other. You've had all of these years to study each other, to feel each other's energies. Like, more than anyone, like, that you are both right for each other. So as soon as you have that one meeting, that's going to be the start of everything. And don't have expectations like even hooking up or having sex on the first date. In a way, some of you might want to actually hold out a little bit when it comes to sex, because you know how it is. Sometimes when you give them what they want, like they'll go off, do what they need to do, and just it could delay it more. So let's keep the energy interesting. Now, if you do feel it that night, I'm not saying don't. Like, I've heard some readers say absolutely don't do it the first time, and then other people say each relationship's different. I know plenty of people who had sex on the first date and they're married, and I know other people who haven't, like it didn't work. So don't play games. The twin flame relationship is the one thing I can tell you is all those relationship books, you can throw them out the window. There are no rules. There is no, oh, he's just not that into you if he's not doing this or that. All social rules and how we think of relationships, all of our belief constructs when it comes to relationships, they don't apply with the twin flame concept. That's how I can tell if somebody's an actual twin flame, like with a reader. If they know the concepts, then they probably are a twin flame. But I find that some of these readers that are doing twin flame readings don't really understand like the separation and like what the twin flame reality is all about, because it's totally, totally different than regular relationships, which is why I'm doing this, because it's so difficult to understand and to navigate. Okay, but that's why I'm doing this. Your new life is here, your happy, happy life. You're healing the family issues and trusting, and yep, your love life is going to reach a new level of engagement. Today, I make the conscious choice to engage with the world in an active way. I'll take a new route and talk to strangers. I'll smell the flowers and pet dogs and maybe walk around barefoot for a while if I'm not inside a 7-Eleven. What is that about? At the very least, I'll have a day that's slightly more interesting than average. This right here is somebody who's keeping her vibe high, right? She's petting the dogs and smelling the roses and just enjoying the breeze on her skin and the sun and, talking to people. And at the most, I'll have a startling epiphany or make a friend who will change my life forever. No pressure. So this is somebody who's engaging with life. Their vibe is high. I used to feel like every time I traveled, I'd have this like, oh, I'm going to hit a new epiphany. I would know that when I was traveling, I was going to get some sort of big aha moment. And every time I did have like a big thing happen. So have the expectation of greater engagement and sharing your love and like spreading the joy. And, when I spread joy and then I see the effect it has on other people, like it makes me feel like so confident and powerful, because like my joy just trickled over to them. Like ripple effects are real, guys. Like that person might have gone into a negative house and been negative and had an argument and broken up, but instead you share joy and then they bring in joy to the house, and that joy ripples. So it maybe they don't break up, or like realize like you are extremely powerful. Let's engage. And when I see this too, I feel like this is you and he. This is your divine masculine and your divine feminine together in a more engaged. I feel like you're having dinner together. He wants to ask you to dinner and drinks and wants to wine and dine you a little bit and show you that good time that like you both have been waiting for so long. Vitality, last outcome, hang in there. I am healthy and vital and strong. My radiant love of life fills me with healthy, vital, and strong cells. Oh, so you have the love of life and you have your love of your life. Each cell is a warrior. Everyone has its own sword and shield. I dare you to try to penetrate my cellular army. Didn't think so, chump. So, you're vital, you're healthy. These outcomes are that you're in a healthy place. You're not in the negativity. You're forgiving. You're letting go of these like old energies of like the 10 of swords, right? Where you've got all the swords in your back and you're like on the floor crying and so tired and exhausted. Like you're getting your vitality back. You're stepping into your power. You're getting your confidence. The world is reacting to you in a positive way. You're drinking tons of water. You're getting great sleep. You're eating your vitamins, not just your vitamins, but your nutrients in your food. Eat the rainbow, taste the rainbow. You've got to have different vegetables, like you're having some fun. Like I'm going this weekend to Palm Springs, not to Palm Springs, to Joshua Tree. I'm going to hike and I'm going to meet new people and I'm going to have a few drinks, maybe even have a cigarette, do something crazy. Maybe even smoke some. I don't know. So all I'm saying is have fun, live life, because your twin can feel it, okay? But your outcome is having trust, healing that family stuff so you guys can come into greater engagement and come into union, all right? He's on track. You're on track. When you're both on track, you can come together, right? If he's on the off track because he's too in his pain, or you're too in your pain, you're not going to come together. But what I'm seeing here is that you guys are on the verge of coming together. It's so exciting. 143.43. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. It's been a joy to spend time with you guys. I hope you enjoyed my reading and my little anecdotes. And please like, follow. Remember, I've got the giveaway going on, so make sure you comment, okay? Comment so I can enter you into a giveaway. Now, that is a 33 reading with 5 questions, and I do a little card spread for you and your twin, or if you want to do general life, that's fine. Now, if you would like to do a one-on-one voice call, I normally don't do it at all at that rate. The last giveaway I gave, though, with everything that I was picking up on her, I did a voice recorded message with it, but I really wanted to just call her and talk with her back and forth and figure some things out with her on the phone. So, you know, Maria, if you still want to do that, let me know. Okay. I feel like there's a little something incomplete there because it was a lot that came through. Okay. So, and for the rest of you, comment, okay, so that I can put you in the drawing for the reading, for the giveaway, and then you can have a little time with me. And then if you want to go ahead and get a pendulum reading, or you have an emergency reading, you need something done by by tomorrow, so that you can figure out if you're reaching out to your twin, whatever it is, whatever you're feeling, trust it, reach out to me. I guarantee you, I'm not going to let you down, okay? I am a channel of the divine light. I've asked for this, especially since after, it was like 2003, when I was making a ton of money, but in like vacation ownership sales, like real estate and hospitality. And I decided, I said, God, what is my purpose? I want to serve. How can I serve? And he showed me all these ways to serve. And I'm living my purpose, Can we take it up a notch? Absolutely. But I've been through it. I'm in my early 40s now. I'm still super cool and hip, but I'm not straight out of school. Like I'm really good at what I do, and I've been doing predictions since I was a kid. I knew I was intuitive, but I didn't really know how intuitive. As soon as I said, okay, I'm okay with seeing dead people, I started mediuming. And if you want a mediumship reading, that's going to be a little more expensive. Save your money. If you want to talk to a passed over loved one, I'm sure they'll come through, and there might be like 3 other people that come through. It takes a lot out of me, so I can't really give the really good rates, like the super inexpensive rates for that. But when it comes to working with your twin and doing what you need to do to get into union, I can be quick with that stuff and thorough, okay, and on it. So I want to do whatever I can to help you get there. All right. Much love, guys. Have a beautiful night or day if you're getting this tomorrow. And take great care of yourselves, okay? Everything's coming in. Make sure you're ready for your twin when he appears. Mwah!